I'm going to talk about my story, my reflections on pitching research experience. It's 6 years, but I'll try to cover it in 10 minutes. I have 3 themes to cover, and you can see at the bottom of the slide, there is one interesting quotation that you can understand. We are at 5:30, already exceeding the time. So I have only 3 themes to discuss. I'll not go for 4th theme, and I will try to skim and scan and just deliver the key message. So theme number 1 is about my first pitch research letter and related outputs. So what is pitch research letter for those who have not done that exercise? So you write a real pitch, fill the template, and then you write an introduction, you write a brief commentary on the page, and then you have personal reflection and a conclusion. So you put it in a short paper format, and then there is one journal of accounting and management information system. You can send that paper to them and it can be published. So theme number 1 is about my first pitch research letter. How did I come to know about pitching research? You may be thinking I was doing PhD, my supervisor have informed me about that, but it is not true. I came to know about pitching template from my senior PhD student, so who attended AFAN's PhD symposium in New Zealand at that time, and he was preparing for the pitch template, and he said that, look, Sira, do you know this pitch template? I said, I have no idea. He said that I will be doing that exercise, but if you want to do this, you have to seek permission from Professor Robert. You have to fill the template and then share it with Professor Robert, and then he will give you feedback. I was very reluctant to do that. Second year of my PhD, I'm not sure what I will be writing, so I decided not to take that option. So, but here the point that I want to highlight for honors and PhD students is peer-to-peer learning is one of the important things if we can avail and then excel in our research career. The second time I came to know about pitching research in November 2014, where the CIRCA organized pitching research symposium. And then as a PhD student, I was thinking that from where do I get funds? So then CIRCA announced that they will be funding the travel with 500 Australian dollars. So I got that funding, my pitch was accepted, and then I delivered a pitch talk on 27th of February 2015. And you can see how this platform, this symposium, helped me to meet with professors, expert in the field, as well as PhD students. So you can see Professor Petco Clave, Steve Easton, Dave, and then Sue Wright, and Gary Monroe. So you can see big names are there, and I'm just at the start of my 3rd year, and I'm getting an exposure to sit in a room with these professors, and it's only possible, it only happened because I took the pitching template. I took that symposium opportunity, I got the travel grant, and I attended that symposium. And I also got an opportunity to meet with PhD students from top Australian universities. Okay, so then after that, so the story is not ending. So after that, the CIRCA released an e-newsletter, and I was chosen as a researcher in Spotlight because I was traveling to American Finance Association, and they highlighted that participation in their newsletter. And I was one of the frequent users of CIRCA data. I was then later on invited by CIRCA to participate in their platform experience. So they were launching a new platform. So they booked the flights for me from Brisbane to Sydney. So I traveled there, they booked the hotel. So I delivered an interview where they simulated, and then they tried to see if the new platform will work better or not. So pitching experience and follow-up impact and sharing my story to other academics in Australia and other PhD students was a really motivational stuff for me while I'm just learning and going through my PhD journey. So then my first PhD paper that was related to the pitching experience was published in Applied Economics, which is a ranked journal. And what I did for that paper, I printed it and put it on my desk, and I used to see it and feel motivated that this is my first paper and first paper from PhD, and I kept it till there until I finished my PhD in 2017. So that paper is based on the pitch experience that I got in 2014 through CIRCA Pitching Symposium. And importantly, the pitching paper was also published as a pitch research letter, and I say it's just like 2 kills with 1 bullet. So I got the pitch published, I got the paper published in A-Rank journal. But on top of that, the pitching research really helped me to think about what I'm doing can be split into two projects. So I split the one project, which is published in Applied Economics using small data, small idea, and then I prepared a big paper, which I presented in AFAN's conference in July 2016. So this is through pitch exercise because I got clarity about the research process, clarity about my project. Then I split it up into two. So the first paper published in Applied Economics, then the second paper, the main paper that I presented in AFAN's conference, and I got the best paper award. And you know who was in the session that was presenting with me? Professor Millicent Cheng was also in the same session. So I got first time interaction with her at that time. And I had another paper in AFANS at that time. That was my first PhD paper. So I presented in another session. And Professor Philip Brown was attending that session. And Professor Philip Brown is the one who assisted me in collecting corporate governance data because I requested him and then he shared his database with me. That as a PhD student, if I get that, that's really a head start. And you know, Professor Philip Brown is the supervisor of Professor Millicent Cheng. So you see the word is connected and everything seems to be, if you put the dots together, you reflect on that, then from one action, attending pitching symposium, taking the project to the next level, you see, you meet with a lot of experts in that way. So then I shared that news through Griffith website that corporate governance study gains industry recognition. And then the main paper was also published. Second main paper was published in an A-Rank journal as well. So you can see 3 publications from one pitching exercise. And then the pitch paper that was the start was also received Best Pitch Research Letter Award from Professor Robert in 2017. So I was privileged to visit his office and receive the letter. That is all about theme number 1. Now we quickly talk about theme number 2. That is my second pitch research letter on gender diversity and default race. So how it started? So it started when I requested Professor Robert to attend his pitching research subject at University of Queensland in February 2016. He allowed me to come. And what happened? So I got an opportunity to meet with other PhD students. So one of the students that Professor Robert supervised, Dr. Ihtisham, he's currently working at UQ. So I got a chance to work with him, to meet him. And another student of Professor Robert, Dr. Divan. So what happened afterwards, we got a collaborative projects together. So now we have 2 R&R papers from ABDC A-Rank journals that we are working together. So you can see how things are moving. So attending one subject organized by Professor Robert that is related to pitching template, meeting with other PhD students, starting a collaborative project, and then building on that. In that subject, so Professor Robert gave me an opportunity to work with him as a pitch ambassador to promote the pitching template in Pakistan. So what we did, I traveled Pakistan in March. That was my first travel since I started PhD in 2013. So it took 3 years and 3 months to travel to Pakistan. So in that talk, in that visit, I presented pitching research in 2 of the universities. And then we organized 2 webinars in Pakistan where Professor Robert from Australia delivered live sessions to Pakistan. And you know what we use? We use Zoom at that time. So now we all are using Zoom, but at that time, I remember we tried different technologies and then we came to know that UQ had lessons to use Zoom and then we use Zoom to deliver a talk. So you see in 2016, Zoom was rare to be used and now we are having this session through Zoom and it's just normal. And then I submitted AFAN's grant using the same project where I prepared the pitch paper, pitch template, and I also presented that pitch at the UQ course. And then afterwards, Professor Robert shared my pitch of the week through his LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is a great source to have an impact and share your achievements with your network. And then I received a publication assistance scholarship from Griffith University for the same project. So you see, it started from the course that I'm attending at UQ, and then I'm building on that. and participating in different activities and getting grants related to that project as well. And that pitch was published in Accounting Research Journal, which is ABDC B ranked. And in that pitch, I provided some guidelines to early career researchers if they have to learn the pitching template, what they can do. So I have just picked that from my pitch research letter, so you can have a look later on. And then I also reflected on the rule of 3 in that pitch research letter. So if we keep anything at 3, it will have more impact. So anything more or less will not have that impact. Then I also reflected on reverse engineering in that pitch as well. Okay, so out of the UQ course that I attended, I was also able to be part of the big team, and we published a fantasy pitching in Journal of Accounting and Management Information System. And what we did, we prepared a fantasy page. We said that if we want to keep a cow happy, we have to feed the cow a good meal. So we came up with that idea within 30 minutes. And then we put together a pitch template around that idea, what data we'll be using, what is an idea, so what, and contributions. And then we had that exercise. So that is captured in that fantasy pitching. And then the main paper. So based on the pitch that I prepared as part of my UQ course, I was able to prepare a full project that I presented in Financial Market and Corporate Governance Conference. So in that conference, I discussed a paper written by Professor Stephen Brown, who is one of the big name in Australia in finance, and his paper got the best paper award. So you can see, started with the pitching, have a full paper, presented it in a conference, and now I'm getting a chance to discuss a paper from top scholar, and that paper is getting best paper award. So in my session, I met with Dr. Syed Shams. He's from University of Southern Queensland. I had delivered 6 weeks of teaching with him, but we had no physical interaction. He just requested me over the email. But this Melbourne conference gave me an opportunity to first time meet with him. And now we are working on collaborative project. So things are moving in a positive direction. And URW job that I applied was after I attended this conference on 10th of April, 2018, I submitted my application. And then the full paper that I presented in conferences is now revised and resubmit, conditionally accepted in ABDC A-star rank journal. So that's all about theme number 2. Theme number 3, quickly, I show you what happened other than that related to my pitching experience. So real pitch for a collaborative paper. So, I attended first Circa Pitching Symposium in 2015. My co-author, who was doing his PhD from Griffith University, so he learned that I participated in Circa Pitching Symposium. There were benefits. So he also intended to go for that. So he participated in second Circa's Pitching Symposium. And then his pitch research letter was also published in JMIS. And then our co-authored paper together was published in Pacific Basin Finance Journal, which Professor Robert is now working as chief editor. But at that time, I think Professor Gonry was looking after the journal. Then reverse engineering page. So my first PhD paper, what I did, I put it in the reverse engineered template, and then that template is available at UQ website under supplementary material. And that paper was also published, the full paper was published in A-rank journal. Shark Tank pitch, which is recent development in pitching research. So I was privileged to be part of the first issue. So my co-author, he presented at AFAN's special interest group, and then our paper was published in May 2020 in Pacific Basin Finance Journal. And then after that, I was invited to review a Shark Tank pitch paper, a replication paper, and I received that certificate as well from Pacific Basin Finance Journal. Story does not end here. I was then invited by one scholar from Japan to attend All Japan Pacific Basin Finance Shark Tank 2020. So you see how things are related. Like it started somewhere, then it's just keep building. And now I'm willing to transfer that knowledge to my PhD student. one of the student, she has used the pitching template in November and December, and she has now passed the confirmation phase. She's now executing the idea and taking it to the next level. Okay, so that is it from my end that I wanted to share with all of you, that I started, one senior PhD student gave me an indication, here is pitch template, and here is what I have achieved in the last 6 years. Thank you so much for your patience and staying with me even after the time has already passed. If you have any question, I'm happy to take it on board. Yeah, thank you so much.
Don't really have a question, Surat. Just thanks very much for that. That's an amazing journey there, and you're probably one of the greatest walking and living applicators of the pitching framework, and I'm glad that it's served you well, and I hope that your students and others can use it productively going forward.
Yeah.
So well done. Yeah. And with that, I think I'll bid you farewell. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks, Professor Robert, for your time and sharing your experiences. Thanks, my colleagues, students. Thanks for your participation. I'll see you then sometime in the future.